Hi, I'm Matthew Taylor, and this work is titled, What is the Fate of Religion? And today I'm going to be talking about two articles which I read from the BBC website that had conflicting points of view on religion. Throughout history, religion has been a guidebook for morals and good behavior. Religion is also a way to teach people consequences and to hold them accountable for their actions. In this day and age, advancements in technology and progressive political movements have made religions adapt to fit the needs of their constituents. In this week's readings, we tackle the argument of, is religion dying or is it merely adapting? On theme, I looked up opposing articles from the BBC in the same issue. Basically, in class, we discuss whether religions were dying off or whether they were making changes, trying to adapt, becoming newer religions, and what we thought the fate of those religions were. In the first article that I read, it was titled "How Religions Change Their Mind." It was written by William Kremer. In the article, he discusses changes in the Church of Latter-day Saints, Islam, and the Catholic Church. Societal norms often change, and Kremer argues that religion finds ways to catch up. Kremer mentions that religions have active religious figures that find it easier. Religions that have active religious figures, so have living prophets or the Pope, find it a lot easier to change than, say, Islam or Judaism. A quote from Kremer's article, history shows that any religion that refuses to change dies out. But what those religions don't have are living prophet. But what about the religions that don't have living prophets? How do they change? And he answers this with his discussion of Islam when he says, similarly, at the time of the Iranian Revolution in 1979, the ulama said that birth control was haram. So basically like a sin, not okay for Muslims to do. But now the use of condoms was encouraged, like today, with state-supported condom factories and premarital family planning lessons. Kremer believes that this is the path that all religions should take up. So it's new ideas changing in an Islamic state, and then in religions where they have an active leader, they're able to, or an active appointed by God leader or prophet, that they're able to change things. Rachel Neuwirth's article, titled "Will Religion Ever Disappear?" Atheism is on. It has an additional title. Atheism is on the rise around the world. So does that mean spirituality will soon be a thing of the past? Rachel Neuwirth discovers that the answer is far from simple. In her article, Neuwirth says that she believes those religions are on their way out of the door, and describes that atheism and liberalism are on the rise due to changes in science and society. She includes a quote which states the numbers, which are quite shocking. There's absolutely more atheists around today than ever before, both in sheer numbers and as a percentage of humanity. According to a Gallup International survey of more than 50,000 people in 57 countries, the numbers of individuals claiming to be religious fell from 77% to 68% between 2005 and 2011, while those who self-identified as atheists rose by 3%, bringing the world's estimated proportion of adamant non-believers to 13%. These numbers, while not 100% the world is getting rid of religion, made me think a lot about the changes in the world, the changes in science and technology, which make people lean away from religion, and which make some biblical stories just inaccurate, where the earth couldn't have been flooded by Noah's Ark, and it's not likely that Adam and Eve only had 2 children that were both male, and then they had enough children to spawn the 11 tribes of Israel at one point. So there are stories that, and Jacob said that the earth stood still, the sun stood still over the battlefield for multiple days after he commanded it to stand still. Like there are stories that need to be taken with a grain of salt that have morals behind them that are important, but some religions refuse to adapt. And my questions for these articles are: do you think it's healthy for religions to change their rules around? Could you see a possible split of the generations who have had their minds made up for decades ago, who have had their minds made up for decades to change their religion suddenly? So does the older generation who already have their ideas in place, would they be willing to switch? And do you think it would be healthy for the people that already believe in their religion to change their minds on things? But the alternative is to lose religion, which I also don't know 100% is a good idea, because what happens to people when they're in immense suffering? Like, where do they turn? Where do they turn when things are not going well in the economy and in the country? Which is, religion is usually a target for those. Religion is usually a go-to place for those people. But that's my media presentation. I'll include the links to those articles in the description below. And thank you for watching.